As individuals, they have enjoyed solo careers which any musical artist would be proud of. Together, they have helped to define contemporary Hawaiian music and have become the voice of a generation. It would be hard to imagine a Hawaii without the Brothers Cazimero, for they are one in the same, and when they travel far and wide, they always bring Hawaii and aloha with them. What is it about their individual backgrounds, influences, values, talents, and personalities, which then combine, create a musical entity that embodies the spirit of our island home like no other?
Now, you have to picture this. Our house was like a music store. I mean, we had practically every instrument. You know, you walk in the house, and up on the top there were the ukuleles. We had guitars, we had bass, we had pianos, we had xylophones, we had drums.
Because they were musicians, we were sort of like raised with music around us, and we thought it was quite commonplace that everybody else had the same thing. I'm number 10 and Roland's the 12th.
I'm the baby.
Of 12 children of our parents. And so we like to tell people, and I've said this several times, that when we were born and the doctor hit my rear.
Okole?
Well, no, it would be elemu, Roland.
Elemu, okay.
That I started to sing rather than cry.
I came out complaining, I think.
When we were about maybe 4 and 5, and I recall our parents always having Thursday nights rehearsals, and we didn't have a big house. But Robert, Roland, and I were put to bed. And we literally stopped rehearsal because Robert arranged 3-part harmonies to Singing Bamboo while we were laying in bed.
I had formal piano lessons from when I was in the 3rd grade. Roland started piano too, but he went in a different direction as far as instruments are concerned because he was hand-taught by our dad.
Yeah, I got drafted into the band.
Which is a pretty darn good thing, actually, at a very young age.
8 years old, and I would play the CBO clubs on a stool with a big long coat that went past here, and so it looked like the big guy playing, but you know, it's only a little guy on the stool.
We performed almost 4 to 5 days a week with our parents, and it was fun.
While balancing the demands of work and school was a challenge, Robert and Roland managed to develop their own individual interests at Kamehameha Schools.
Roland was an officer at Kamehameha Schools, ROTC, and he was very, very good and very dashing in his uniform.
My first teacher of hula was Nona Beamer when I was at Kamehameha Schools. And she taught us how to dance, and I'd have to say she taught us to teach as well.
And Auntie Nona Beamer actually created the Hawaiian Ensemble. And so they more than me became part of the groups that would travel with Kalani Kake to Japan and do performances. And my father even traveled with them as well.
While the brothers were developing their unique sound, a brilliant and entrepreneurial young musician by the name of Peter Moon was making a splash with the Sunday Manoa.
He drafted Roland for his group. That's our first initial meeting, as far as I remember, with Peter Moon.
The combination of the brothers' voices and Peter's virtuoso ukulele playing seemed like a match made in heaven, but a few adjustments had to be made. Roland had to learn guitar to back up Peter, and Robert had to learn the bass. Once they worked out their instrumentation, the new Sunday Manoa caught fire.
It was like adding rocket boosters to the Hawaiian music.
This was a whole different sound. This was almost kind of taking Matarachi or Spanish kind of influenced flamenco and putting it in with Hawaiian music, but the licks were from, you know, the Rolling Stones or the Beatles, or, you know. So it was like, wow, this is cool Hawaiian music.
But it was the release of their first album, Guava Jam, that would capture the hearts of a new generation of Hawaiian music enthusiasts.
They started a new a new renaissance in the Hawaiian music.
Sunday Manoa released 2 more highly successful albums, but the incredible ride the group was enjoying would come to an abrupt end in 1975.
We cried. I cried.
I was in shock, kind of, too.
You know, I mean, like, I thought we were good. I thought we were doing good. You know, and
Salvation was found in a friend named Charlie Thompson.
Charlie Thompson.
And he said to us, you know, Jack DeMello would like to talk to you guys. And we knew who Jack was, of course, because in our house at home, his music and his vinyls were part of the staple of music played by us at home.
Jack DeMello is the legendary producer, arranger of classic albums by the likes of Emma Viri and Nina Kealihi Vahamana. He and son John had created the Mountain Apple Company.
And then we go and meet them at his office at Ala Moana. And when we went, Jack said, you know, I'm thinking we should just call you the Brothers Cazimero. Or maybe it was John. It could have been John too, because, you know, we couldn't be the brothers, the Cazimero brothers, because it was already the Beamer brothers. You know, there was Cecilio and Capono. And so we became the Brothers Cazimero, which to this day, people still have a hard time with. They still think it's the Cazimero brothers.
For the brothers' debut album, producer-manager John DeMello thought outside of the box by going outside of Oahu.
I felt that to remove them from the environment was the best approach. And so our first album, Ho'ala, I rented Billie Jean King's house in Kauai, and we moved in for 2 weeks, and we set up a studio, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. And we had a very, very close friend that owned Papillon helicopters and loved us, and we loved him. And he was a Vietnam pilot, and he would land in the front yard, pick us up, and take us into a valley for a day, drop us off at the Nepali coast. We'd go into waterfalls and swim, and we'd come back and we'd eat, and then we'd record the whole night.
Trust in us and you'll know no cares. Throw back your arms and take to
Establishing themselves as recording artists was one thing, but the brothers also needed to define themselves as a live act. A close friend and accomplished dancer became the third essential piece in the puzzle.
Roland's instrumental is exactly how Robert's voice is. And when you add the three, their music and their voices, both voices together, they do a symphony. They can do a symphony just with the three moves. And then you add me as the visual, and that can become a whole drama enactment. So, you know, we were a great team, the three of us.
They're two lovable guys, but they're night and day. Robert is very focused, very disciplined. And that's admirable, because in singing you have to be disciplined. Roland is a lovable guy. He's so affectionate, and he's very free. He has a free spirit, and I think that you cannot curb him.
Both brothers have mentored many young artists, Robert as a kumuhula of his all-male halau Nakamale, and Roland as a guitar teacher. It's no surprise that conflicts between the brothers occasionally arise. But they learned early on not to let personal differences interfere with the success of the Brothers Cazimero. After 35 years of commercial and artistic success, 37 albums, and record-breaking engagements at iconic performance venues, the brothers show little sign of slowing down and look forward to the next chapter in their amazing history.